One day when I came home, I heard a funny noise. Went out to my neighbor, he's called Peter. Recently, I found out that the Jonas Brothers did not write that song. My world's been shattered since then. All right, everybody, welcome back to another video. You feel me? Real review. Today, as I am just getting out of the theater, of course, we're going to be talking about Wolfman, released January 17th, 2025. This movie, I liked it. You know what I'm saying? It's a Blumhouse picture. I mess with a lot of Blumhouse stuff. I like Christopher Abbott, the main actor in the movie. This was directed by Leigh Whannell, who, if you don't know who Leigh Whannell is, let me put you on. You know what I'm talking about. He gave us Saw. He gave us the Conjuring universe. He gave us Upgrade. Okay, scratch that. He was a producer on Upgrade. But nonetheless, I feel like he had a part in that movie. You can't go wrong with Leigh Whannell pictures. That man's got a catalog behind him, and I want more out of him.
Pause! What?
Of course, Ryan Gosling produced this. Oh, that's kind of cool. I hope that's fake. No, I don't. I want that to be real. Why would I say that? Before I say anything else, I am going to throw up one of them spoiler warnings, you feel me? If you did not watch Wolfman in its entirety and you do not want to be spoiled, as I will be talking about this movie in some length, I suggest you click off the video and come back after you've seen the movie. But if you don't care, you don't care, we welcome you anyway. This movie is decent. You know what I'm saying? I do like it. Is it the greatest monster film we've seen? No, but it's not terrible. I had my expectations a bit low, so it kind of exceeded them a little bit. Could that be a bad thing? Probably. Now, before I even start on the intro here, I'm gonna give them a strong point just because this is a Blumhouse picture. And I might be saying that name wrong, I don't care. But they've given us up like Creep, Speak No Evil, which came out a couple months ago. Halloween they've given us, Happy Death Day 2, Insidious. Again, like, they got a resume. They got a resume. This movie, I think it had a decent runtime. That also worked in its favor. Horror movies can be too long. We've learned that before. So it is a very decent intro. I'm gonna give him a strong point for the intro because it's somewhat interesting and it pulls us into the movie at least. Christopher Abbott, who again I do love, he does play this character named Blake. Now we do start off in the movie where he is in boyhood. He's on a hunting trip with his father in Oregon, somewhere in Oregon. This first shot of the movie we get right here, where he's in some type of valley in Oregon. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Nature in itself, just use more of that in movies, please. Blake, again, he's on a hunting trip with his dad. From the jump, we kind of get that it's a strained relationship. His dad's like a military type of guy, or he might be ex-military, I don't really know, but he's very strict. There's a lighter sense to it because it's more like he's trying to make sure he's prepared in life, but at the same time, he could reel it back a little bit. But that's besides the point. That's not my situation to touch on. You know what I'm talking about? And while he's on this hunting trip, he does split off from his dad. Granted that he saw a deer and he was trying to kill it, so he was trying to get a better shot in the deer. Good intentions on Blake's part, but 2 minutes into this movie, we do get our first look at the Wolfman. I'm not gonna lie, as eerie as it was, I wish we saw him a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't get a real like full look on the Wolfman until like maybe about an hour into the movie, and that might be even stretching it, I would say. Not saying we don't get glimpses of him, but that's when we get our full first like look at the Wolfman. Now, this did bring a question to me immediately, by the way, because in most movies about werewolves, Wolfman, lycanthropy, or whatever it's called, you would only see one of these creatures during a full moon. But in this scene, it's the middle of the day. You're telling me they're out during the day? Like, they're just out like that? Then I was confused a little bit, but whatever, we're working with it. His dad, he doesn't give it away, but he seems to know a bit more about what's going on than he'll let his son know, I should say. He's talking to his friend later, like that day, telling him like, hey, I saw it, it's real, bro, we gotta kill this thing, basically. I want to protect my boy. Again, you can tell he cares about his son, but he's just going the wrong way about it, I guess. They do give us a lot of good tension in this movie throughout the film. I'm not gonna give him the strong point yet on that, but you know what I'm saying? In this early scene, we get to see they give us a good sense of the danger in this film, which I like. Now, cut 30 years later, yes, 30 years. Apparently, Chris Abbott is supposed to be 40 in this. We're now on the sidewalk in New York with grown Blake. He's with his son, Ginger. I do like the relationship we see between these two characters. It feels very genuine between a father and daughter. Later, when they get back home into their apartment, we do meet the mother, Charlotte, played by Julia Garner. Now, before I say anything else, I do really like the acting we see here from these two characters. But Christopher Abbott, I think I liked his acting a lot. Granted that he's really showing a lot of emotion here. We're given the hint that him and his wife, I don't even know if they're married, but we're given the hint they're in a strained relationship. And really the only thing holding these two together is probably their daughter. Christopher is trying his hardest to pull this relationship back together. Like, this guy is really trying to save his relationship for his daughter's sake, if anything. So I love that. Christopher Abbott I think is a phenomenal actor. Sucks that he's getting typecast as these like infected people. Like he was in It Comes at Night, where he got infected and I think then killed. He was in Sweet Virginia. He didn't get infected, but he did get killed, I'm pretty sure, right? He's been given such bad fates in these movies, and it's like, is that fair to him? Julia Garner, who plays Charlotte, on the other hand, I do like her as well in this movie. I can't really tell where else I've seen her before. Shut up. She was in Ozark? Oh my god, she was the daughter, wasn't she? That's why I recognize her. Ooh, I love that show. But yeah, Julia Garner, she did great in this movie as well. Again, Christopher Abbott took the cake though. His acting was pretty damn good. And also how we're introduced to Charlotte, I don't like. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is she such an ass? Now, he does receive a letter basically telling him that his father has been declared dead legally in the state of Oregon. I guess his father's been missing. We're told later in the movie that he had moved away from his father as soon as he could, probably right when he turned 18. So he hasn't seen him in maybe about 20 years. He's feeling some remorse, you know, not being able to talk to his father. Now he went missing. Now he's been declared legally dead. So I guess he's feeling some type of way about it. He decides that him and his family should go down to Oregon to collect his belongings and stuff, and he wants to spend the summer out there. Hence why we're now back in the forest in this movie. Before we get into because there's a WTF moment early in this movie, I want to just make it clear that I like a lot of what they did terror-wise. What I mean by terror-wise is how they build the suspension, how they create the illusion or false sense of security, I should say, and then get us, you know what I'm saying? The sound design is pretty damn good. I'm pretty sure I've said this before, I'm gonna say it again. When you're watching a movie, you want to feel like you in that bitch. So when I'm telling you, you are immersed in, at least I was, when I was immersed in this film. What I mean by WTF moment is he's in this U-Haul truck with his family. He does bump into, I guess, a childhood friend of his. He doesn't remember the guy, but he's lost, so he asked the guy for directions. He's driving down the road with this guy now. Charlotte's not too comfortable with it because the guy is a hunter. He was walking around with a gun. Blake is used to that, I'm guessing, because he was raised in that sort of like environment, so he has no problem really with it. But of course, Charlotte's not really going for the guy with the gun hopping in their van. We're going down the road. I believe his name was Derek, is giving this guy directions. They're talking, they're chatting it up. Derek's a weirdo, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if he hasn't had enough like interaction with society, but he's so off-putting. As they're going down the road, Blake does see the Wolfman in the middle of the road. He swerves to miss it. The truck is thrown off the road and it's lodged in a tree. Like, I mean, it's stuck in that bitch. Derek's dumbass decides it's a good idea that while the truck is in midair, he should take his seatbelt off and open the door. Well, I guess so. Okay, sure, go for it. You want to wipe yourself off the map that early? Go for it. Be my guest. Now, as he does this, we are hearing some noises. Basically the same thing that Blake heard when he was a young boy. It is the Wolfman. Again, we don't really get a good look at him yet. We do see him kind of try to attack Blake through the window. I just realized this. As the wolf is trying to attack him, Charlotte and Ginger are on top of the truck. You tell me the wolf didn't go after them? Come on, bro. That's a huge plot hole, I feel like. Am I wrong? Again, he does swipe at Blake. He misses, or so we think he misses. Spoiler alert. He does take Derek away though. This is where I truly think the intro ends, right here. I'm not going to talk about the movie in depth because I don't really think we need a full in-depth analysis of this film. As good as I think it is, it's not really necessary. Now I'm going to talk about a couple things I did like in the movie, more strong points and a couple weak points that we will find later in the film. I'm going to start off the bat here with the production quality of this movie. The set designs, or even just the set locations, I should say, hard. I love the forest we're in. It looks so damn creepy, gives us that eerie factor. It gets you paranoid, you know what I'm saying? You never know what's gonna happen next. They do make it out the truck and they get out of the forest or whatever. They do end up finding Blake's childhood home. As they're running to it, we again get a little bit of a glimpse at the Wolfman chasing them. We don't really get to see the full picture yet, so they do get inside the house. This is when I realized that this movie is a sole location movie. And what I mean by that is the majority of this movie takes place in this sole location. I'm gonna call it Solo for short. I hope that catch on. That was pretty cool. I just thought of that. So we are just inside Blake's childhood home, which I don't mind. We're supposed to be paranoid. We're supposed to be on edge the whole time. It wouldn't really, we'd get more comfort, I feel, if we kept moving, if you know what I'm saying, if we kept going to different locations and stuff. The score does start picking up now, and I'm not gonna lie, this may be 20-30 minutes into the movie, not an ounce of music before this, which I like, to be fair. Lulls us into that false sense of security I'm talking about. Again, that terror factor works in heavy. Leigh Whannell knows what he's doing when it comes to that thing. The score, pretty good though. Very decent score. I love how they're kind of amping it up The tension, I think, is also very good. The camera work is okay. I don't think it's nothing like incredible, but it's not bad. It's very average, I'll say that. It's easy to follow, which I think is huge when it comes to movies. You want to make sure you, like, the viewer can see what's going on, and that way they can put together themselves what's going on without you telling them what's happening. We do find out that he was cut up a little bit. Blake, I mean, he was cut up on the arm a little bit. He's trying to say, like, I got cut up by the glass when the thing broke it. I don't know what she means by this, but she's talking about, like, oh, it doesn't look like that was glass that cut you. Sure, I guess. I mean, they're trying to build the fact that it's not a normal, like, injury. I'll let it slide, but, like, Charlotte, come on, don't be a know-it-all. No one likes them. The runtime, I think, is very good, but I also like the pacing in this movie. Ooh, Blake, he's not looking good pretty damn quick. They ain't been that long, and he's like... Blake decides that it's a good idea for him to try to barricade the door, make sure that thing does not get inside. Now, as he does this, he's trying to talk to Charlotte and Ginger, but they're kind of just looking at him, and he's not exactly sure why. Hold that thought. Ooh, what I really like about this movie as well, the filter they did do on this, like the grainy kind of thing they got going on, I like it a lot. I think just Leigh Whannell in general, I'm not trying to glaze him or nothing, but I'm telling you, like, bro, horror movies are that man's thing, so I was not surprised when it turned out as good as I thought it was going to be. Monster movies, I feel like, are very hit or miss. This wasn't bad. Oh, what I also like as well, right? Now, the farther we get into the movie, the farther his infection is like kind of spreading. They don't flat out tell us that it is an infection, but that's kind of our guess. But as his infection gets worse, we're seeing the effects of it through his POV. What I mean by that is, at first when they get down to the basement, he starts smelling something and he's not sure what it is. Charlotte has no idea what he's talking about. He opens a steel door. There's meat hanging there. Who knows how long it's been down there? Yuck, yuck, yuck. Oh, and this dude eats it. Why did he try eating the jerky? Yuck. And a tooth fell out, everything. Oh my word, bro. Now, another thing with his infection, we do hear like a lot of banging and we're not sure what's going on. Blake thinks it's that thing that attacked him earlier, so he goes to check it out. Now, when he does find the source of the noise, he thinks it's about to be the wolf thing. So come to his surprise, he opens a closet and there's nothing in there, but he hears this banging. He's like wondering what's going on. The camera pans into the closet. On the closet is a spider. That's all that's in there. He looks at the spider a little closer and he realizes what he's hearing. Bang, 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 as the spider's crawling up the wall. What I'm pointing out here is we're getting his sense of hearing has been heightened as well. Also his sense of smell, if I didn't mention that earlier with the beef jerky, his sense of smell has been heightened also. Now you're kind of picking up more and more that he's been infected with the wolf virus, or whatever you call it, lycanthropy. I don't know what it's called. Lichenitis? It is called lycanthropy. His lycanthropy is progressing and they're showing us it in real time, which I like. I like that a lot too. We also find out here that as much as his senses are heightened, his like cognitive abilities are kind of regressing as well. Charlotte hasn't been able to understand him. That's why when he was talking to Charlotte and Ginger a moment ago, they were kind of just looking at him because they didn't understand him. He wasn't speaking English, which is kind of scary. That does work both ways though, because now he can't understand them. I wanted to mention this later in the video. They ruined so much about this film in the trailer. That's gonna be our first weak point. How does that help promote the movie if you're just gonna spoil most of it anyway? Yeah, so they just haven't been able to understand him. He can't understand them now. It's very sad. That actually goes into another strong point I have. The acting has progressed as well. Charlotte showing a lot of despair here. She's seeming to lose hope. She's so concerned about her husband as well. She's trying her best to make him keep him calm, because at this point he's barely able to move properly. He's limping. He's like fatigued. It's sad to watch this at the same time because he's such a nice guy. Again, they involve us as much as they can with his infection, or his turning, I guess you could say. They did this a couple times in the movie where they will show us his point of view, but like his actual point of view. Now, when he looks at Charlotte now, he can't understand her, but now all he sees are her veins. He sees the light in her eyes. His night vision has turned up quite a bit now. That's another thing they showed us. Ooh, I love that. They showed us his night vision, which was so damn cool. Basically, what they're showing us is his ability to hunt. But again, he's turning right in front of us. Like, he's gone. Like, it's sad. It's sad to see. Again, why do they keep doing this to this guy? I like Christopher Abbott, but I feel like they've just been doing him dirty. He's getting typecasted as a character who just falls to an ill fate. It sucks. He even joked about it himself during the promotion for this movie.
Yeah, it's all I'm doing nowadays. Just that.
I want to give them a strong point for the gore in this movie. It's just nasty. Now, where he did get cut up, like, which was right about here, I'd say, his wife did bandage it at one point because it was cutting pretty bad. She takes the bandages off and this thing is like I think he's been scratching at it. He's scratched to the bone. We see the bone poking out his arm. And then when she takes the bandage off, I guess he's itching still, so he starts to scratching it. He's biting this shit. He's like eating himself. It's so nasty. There's a lot of that they show us in this movie, how gross this whole transformation thing is. I guess it's fine. We gotta see the nasty side of it as well, so whatever. Charlotte does try to save the day. She sees a truck that is in right in front of his dad's barn. She tries to jump start it with the battery. She has the keys already, so that's good. As she's trying to jump start it, when she finally gets the battery started, she clears the windshield. Boom! Werewolf in our face right there. And that's when they show us the full picture of the werewolf, what it actually looks like. I hate the fact that they started that truck because it literally goes nowhere. Again, they give us more tension building here, you know what I'm saying? What I want to point out about this werewolf, or wolfman, whatever you want to call it, this dude is slow as hell. He's not even normal human fast. I'm thinking, if your senses are heightened, why not your physical capabilities? Why is he not faster? They show us in the movie he's stronger, but why is he not faster? I don't know. I feel like he could have caught them. Blake is more aware of what's going on, I guess. It's kind of like he knows his fate, like he feels like he's dying. When he tries to leave, because he figures his wife and daughter would be better off if he were to just get away from them. As he opens the door, the wolfman jumps in and jumps his ass. And here we get another good look at the werewolf. I wish we had more of the werewolf fight. I truly do. Like, it was cool to see, right? They get back into the house. He does try to draw the werewolf away, and it seems like there's an off-screen fight between the two. So that's technically round one. Now, I understand that it's her husband and all that. My question is, when he tries to come back after fighting the werewolf the first time, he's gone. He's gone. Look at this dude. He's gone. Why does this woman open the door? And I think it's because the daughter is yelling at her, like, you left him, you left him. Hell yeah, I left him. I would have left him. I understand y'all have never met a werewolf before, but looking at this dude, I'm not trusting that inside the home. I understand why she ran inside the house. Why did she open the door to let him back in? And then when she lets him back in, he just tries to leave anyway. But when he leaves, he gets jumped. It's very quick. The fight is very quick. It's like 20, 30, 40, maybe 45 seconds, right? Now, actually, good on Blake here. Blake seems to actually be somewhat in control of his mind still. He's actually protecting his wife and daughter from the fully turned werewolf. So, you know, go team. And he does end up actually killing the werewolf that turned him, where we get another good look at him. Come to find out, it's his dad. We can tell, the only reason we're really able to tell, I mean, you can see it in the face a little bit. We do see he had a tattoo, like right here, and we see the same tattoo on the Wolfman. Actually, the next scene, so after he does kill his father, we get a full transformation now. He's completely turned over, but we do get to see the full, like, werewolf, wolfman transformation, whatever you want to call it. It's weak. I'm gonna be honest, it's very weak. It's not much to really see. Why is he balding? Why is he balding if he's turning into a werewolf? I feel like he'd have more hair. He has a lot of body hair, I guess, like his chest hair and his back hair. The rest of it, he looks very human. He looks like an inbred human. No offense to my inbred peeps out there, you know what I'm saying? Keep fighting the good fight. But like, I will tell you this, the howl he gives off when he starts howling, I like it. It's very terrifying, right? It adds to the despair and the terror here we're supposed to be seeing. So yeah, now we are at the end of the movie. After he walks out, he does break back into the house for some reason. It seems like he's in somewhat control of his body still, but Charlotte can't really tell. Looking at him, that's not too inviting. So I'm gonna protect my daughter, which I don't blame her. Now she does take Ginger and try to run off. He chases after them. Again, it doesn't seem like Blake's got any ill intent here. It seems like he's actually just trying to calm them down. Like he's trying to let them know it's okay. But again, given how he looks, Charlotte, she can't tell. As she lures him into the barn, he does actually step into a bear trap. And my God, that looked painful. That's not where it stops though. After they run back out of the barn, he's trying to get to them. His leg is now stuck in a bear trap and he can't get it free. So what does he do? He bites that motherfucker off. My apologies for cussing, but damn. Again, that speaks to the gore, I guess. So now we're at the end of the movie. We're actually back in the beginning of the film, and I mean by like when he was a boy, when he first saw the Wolfman, almost mirroring the scene from the intro with his dad and him as a kid. Charlotte and him are now face to face. Charlotte actually found Derek's gun and she plans on using it. She wants to protect her kid. So again, 100% get where she's coming from. Now this I don't get. The ending I think was the weakest part of the movie for me outside of the transformation. There's been this whole thing where Ginger is like supposed to be a mind reader or something, or at least that's how they play it off with the dad and her. It's a cute father-daughter relationship, right? It's very wholesome, but this is stupid. He keeps telling her like, oh my God, you know exactly what I'm thinking. How do you do that? Yeah. yeah. Why at the end when he's looking at Charlotte, I don't know if he's holding out hope, but he just wants them to know that he's okay, I guess. He looks at Ginger and this girl goes, Mom, he's trying to tell you he wants this to be over. I'm like, what? Where are you getting that information from? What are your sources? And I guess that is what he's trying to say, because he's like trying to, like, he looks back at Charlotte like, now she's right. I'm trying to end this. As Charlotte's aiming the gun at Blake, I guess she still doesn't really get what he's trying to say, so he kind of bucks at her to get her to do something. And yeah, she shoots him point blank. You can't help but feel bad for Blake, because I don't think he didn't deserve any of this, bro. He was trying to do the nice thing and collect his father's belongings. Now, the movie does end with Charlotte and Ginger, you know, looking over their loved one as he is, you know, giving his last breaths, his dying breaths. He does pass away here, and we are left with Charlotte and Ginger walking out of the forest into the clearing that we saw in the beginning of the movie, and that's where the movie ends. The ending is literally my least favorite part about the film. I think the movie is actually pretty damn good. The ending falters a lot. Suspension was strong. I think this is a fantastic thriller. The body effects were pretty damn good. I think this is a good horror wise. The writing fell off so badly, and I don't know why. If we saw more of the two Wolfmen fighting, I would have liked this movie a lot more. But yeah, that was Wolfman. We're gonna give our overall ratings of the movie, starting off with the writing and story. Again, the writing and story I think was pretty good in the beginning, falters off a lot towards the end, so I'm gonna give this a 6.5 out of 10, which I think is very fair. Now for the casting and acting. With the 8 people we see in this film, I think they did very well with the casting. 3 main characters, I'm gonna say 2 because Charlotte and Blake. I think the acting was very strong on their part. So the acting and casting, I'm gonna give an 8 out of 10. Which I think is very fair. For the sound design and the score, we are gonna give this, I'm gonna give the sound and design and the score a 7 out of 10. Again, the sound design was pretty damn good. The score was pretty damn good. It's not that memorable, so I can't really give more than a 7. For the cinematography, nothing impressive about it, but it's not bad. It's very, like, you can follow the movie at least, so that's good. I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10. No, 6. I'm gonna give it a 6. I'm gonna give it a 6. Now for the overall rating of this movie, I'm gonna give Wolfman 2025 a 6.5 out of 10, which I think is fair. But yeah, that was Wolfman 2025. I think it's worth watching this movie. It's not bad at all. Just a little bit at the end there that's a bit mediocre, but hey, we're here. That is going to be the end of this video. Of course, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you did enjoy the video, you can toss me one of them likes. I truly do appreciate them. They don't go without notice. For our next review, we are going to be watching Flight Risk next week, which I am very excited about. Again, that's going to be it for me from here. Without further ado, I'm going to bid y'all good night, better morning, all that ish, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. I'm out.